The moment her message came through, something inside me twisted so hard it felt like fingers closing around my lungs. I'm on a girls' trip. Don't distract me. That was all she wrote. No heart emoji. No playful teasing. No miss you. Just a flat instruction, like I was a distant obligation interrupting something far more important. I stared at the glowing text for a long moment, the quiet of the living room closing in on me. The TV was on but muted, casting bluish light across the walls. Outside, the rain tapped against the windows in a steady, rhythmic irritation. It all felt too still, too staged, as if the world was holding its breath with me. I typed back one simple line. Okay. Have fun. Just checking you landed safely. I hit send. The message delivered. Then the little indicator under it flicked to read. Not even a second later. And then, nothing. No reply. No acknowledgement. No smiley face. Just silence. A silence that didn't feel innocent. I dropped my phone onto the couch beside me, but my hand hovered near it, like a magnet caught between attraction and repulsion. I tried to lean back, to breathe, to let rational thoughts win. She deserved a break. She worked hard. She'd been stressed. Her friends had been planning this trip for months. She had every right to enjoy herself without feeling tethered to her husband. But that word, distract, echoed through my skull like someone had shouted it inside an empty hall. Distract? From what? From who? From enjoying time with her friends? Or from something else? My chest tightened again. I stood abruptly, pacing the length of the room. A few days earlier she hadn't been like this. She'd been warm, affectionate, even clingy in her own subtle way. When she kissed me goodbye at the airport, she brushed her nose against mine like she always did. She looked me in the eyes. She squeezed my hand. It wasn't the body language of a woman trying to distance herself, but the tone in that text. Cold. Restrained. Almost irritated. Like I had intruded. My mind began doing that thing I hated, turning shadows into shapes, shapes into threats, threats into truths I wasn't ready to accept. I walked into the kitchen and opened the fridge even though I wasn't hungry. The cold light spilled out onto my hands, making them look pale and shaky. I grabbed a bottle of water and shut the door hard enough that the magnets rattled. I tried calling myself out. You're overthinking. You always overthink. She's with her friends. She's safe. She's fine. But if she was fine, why did I feel like something inside me was cracking? My phone buzzed suddenly. I snatched it up fast. Too fast. But it wasn't her. Just a forwarded meme from Mark, my coworker. A stupid one about office coffee machines. I tossed the phone onto the counter with unnecessary force. I needed air. I slid open the balcony door and stepped outside. The rain wasn't heavy, just a persistent mist that coated everything. The cold air bit at my skin. I breathed in deep, trying to ground myself, but instead my thoughts spiraled back into memories, recent ones I had pushed aside. Her late nights at the office. The new perfume she wore that she claimed was a gift from a colleague. The sudden gym membership she insisted on getting alone. The way she guarded her phone more lately, angling the screen away from me just slightly. At the time, each thing felt small enough to ignore. Together, they formed a shape I didn't want to see. A shape that looked like betrayal. I closed my eyes, gripping the railing until my knuckles whitened. The sound of traffic far below blended into a steady roar. Somewhere in the distance, a siren wailed, then faded. The world carried on, unaware of the storm I felt brewing inside me. I checked my phone again. Still nothing. I told myself it was fine. She was probably at dinner with her friends. Maybe she left her phone in her bag. Maybe they were talking, laughing, bonding. Maybe she didn't want to be the woman glued to her partner while she was supposed to be enjoying time with her girlfriends. But even as I listed the possibilities, my chest tightened again. Because I'd seen the way she packed. The new lingerie. The dress she said was too much for dinner dates but perfect for a fun girls' night. The heels she almost never wore because they hurt her feet. Why do you need those? I'd teased lightly. Pictures, she'd said, smiling in a way that didn't quite reach her eyes. I had kissed her cheek and let it go. I didn't want to be the jealous husband. I didn't want to clip her wings. I wanted to trust her. But trust wasn't meant to feel like this, like trying to hold water in a cracked glass. My phone buzzed again. The notification preview only showed a single word. From her. Actually. My heartbeat hammered in my ears. I swiped it open instantly. Her message appeared slowly, like each bubble wanted to torture me. Actually. I think it's better if we don't text too much during this trip. I just want to disconnect a little. Disconnect. The word hit me harder than the first one. Disconnect from what? From me. From us. I typed and erased 3 different responses. Everything I wrote sounded needy or insecure or angry or confused. All the emotions I didn't want to admit were consuming me. I settled on. Sure. I get it. Have fun. She read it immediately again. Then nothing. Another silence. Another unanswered question. Another brick added to the wall growing between us. I stared at the screen long after it went dim. That was when, without meaning to, without wanting to, my thumb slid over her contact info. I hesitated. I felt pathetic even considering it. But fear is louder than pride, and my fear was screaming. I opened her location sharing settings. Disabled. She had turned it off. My stomach dropped so hard it felt like the floor tilted. She had never turned it off. Not once. Not in years of marriage. Not even when she traveled. Not even when she went out with friends. She always told me it made her feel safe knowing someone could find her if she needed help. But now. Disabled. I walked backward until I hit the counter and gripped the edge as nausea crept up my throat. My wife was somewhere unknown. With unknown people. Doing unknown things. And she didn't want me to know where she was. I tried to reassure myself. Maybe her phone glitched. Maybe she updated something. Maybe privacy mode turned on by accident. But my gut whispered something darker. She didn't want you to see where she is. That thought clawed at my chest. Hours passed. The rain kept tapping. The apartment felt smaller and smaller. I tried watching TV. I tried reading. I tried everything except the one thing I couldn't stop thinking about. Messaging her again. I didn't want to be a burden. I didn't want to push. I didn't want to seem controlling. But I also didn't want to feel like my marriage was slipping through my fingers without warning. It was near midnight when my phone buzzed again. A photo. From her. My breath hitched. She was smiling, brightly, beautifully, but something felt off. Her smile didn't look like the one she gave me. It looked, posed, stretched, like she was trying to prove something. Behind her in the photo was a blurry figure, male. Tall. Broad-shouldered. Standing too close. Too close for someone she wasn't mentioning. Her caption read, "Just having fun. Don't worry. Don't worry." The phrase people say when they know you will. The room tilted slightly as dread pooled in my stomach. Her friends were all female. She had said that repeatedly. She had emphasized it. She had reassured me. Over and over. So who was the man behind her? My hands shook as I zoomed in on the background. It was a bar, one I didn't recognize. Warm lights. Wooden beams. Neon signs. And that man, turned slightly away, his profile blurred but nonetheless masculine. My heart thudded heavily. Before I could stop myself, I typed, "Who's that guy behind you?" Her response came quickly. "What guy? You're overthinking. It's just other people at the bar." Something felt wrong. I zoomed again on the image. And that was when I noticed it. Her hand, in the corner of the frame, slightly blurred, lifted mid-motion, as if she had pulled it away from someone's shoulder just as the picture was taken. My breath caught sharply. I didn't reply. I couldn't. My chest was tight and my fingers numb. My phone buzzed again. This time a voice message. 8 seconds long. My stomach dropped further as I pressed play. Laughter. Hers. High-pitched. Nervous. Forced. Then a male voice in the background. Low, close, intimate. "Come here, babe." The recording ended abruptly, like she'd realized too late that something had been caught. My blood ran cold. Babe. Not a stranger at the bar. Someone with her. Someone she didn't want me to know existed. My legs gave out and I sat heavily on the arm of the couch, the air feeling thick and impossible to swallow. I replayed the message. And again. And again. Her laughter. His voice. Come here, babe. I rubbed a hand hard across my face, trying to breathe. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw my phone. I wanted to call her and demand the truth. But instead I sat frozen, suffocating beneath a weight I never imagined I'd feel. My wife, my best friend, my partner, my everything, was with another man. And she didn't want me to know. My hands trembled violently as I set the phone down. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat there, staring into the dark, waiting for morning, waiting for something to make it make sense, waiting for any piece of hope to pull me back from the cliff edge I felt myself slipping toward. But nothing came. Only the truth I was afraid to face. She lied. She hid. She betrayed. And she didn't think I'd ever find out. The sun rose without my permission. I hadn't slept. I hadn't even moved from the couch except to stand, pace, sit, and pace again. My thoughts kept looping, replaying those 8 seconds of audio like a punishment I couldn't escape. Come here, babe. The voice was burned into my skull now. Deep. Confident. Familiar in the way a threat becomes familiar once it brands itself into your memory. When the light filtered through the curtains, my eyes stung. My mouth was dry. My chest felt hollow, like someone had scooped out everything inside me and left a cavern where my heart used to be. I didn't message her. I didn't call her. I didn't beg for an explanation. She knew what she had sent. She knew I heard. And she chose silence. A silence that meant she didn't care enough to lie. She didn't panic enough to cover her tracks. She didn't love me enough to fix the damage immediately. Around 9 a.m., her message came. Just one line. Going hiking today. Won't have signal. Talk later. Talk later. Just like that. Like I was an errand she would get to when it was convenient. My jaw clenched so hard it hurt. She wasn't hiking. She wasn't with the girls. She wasn't losing signal. She was with him. And she was telling me not to bother her. That was the moment something hardened inside me. The panic faded. The confusion quieted. The denial loosened its grip. I felt something colder, something sharper settle in its place. Clarity. I wasn't going to sit here waiting for scraps of truth she would never willingly give. I needed to know the full story. I needed to see it. I needed to understand how deep the betrayal went. So I did something I never imagined I'd do. I called her best friend. Lena wasn't particularly fond of me. She thought I was too cautious, too serious, too grounded, but she cared about my wife. And I had a sick feeling in my gut that she had answers I desperately needed. She picked up on the third ring, sounding groggy. Hello. Lena. It's me. A pause. Hey. Everything okay? I just need to ask you something, I said, my voice shaking more than I wanted it to. Sure. Are you with her right now? Another pause. Longer. Heavier. Why would you ask that? She said slowly. She told me she's going hiking with you. Lena exhaled sharply, the kind of exhale that meant trouble. We're not together, she admitted. Not today. She said it was a girls' trip, I whispered. It was supposed to be, Lena replied, sounding uncomfortable. But she changed plans last minute. Said she needed some space. Space. The same word she used on me. Who is she with? I asked, the words cracking. Silence. Lena, I pressed, please. Her voice softened with something like pity. I don't know, exactly. She didn't tell us. But she's been acting weird lately. How weird? Secretive. Jumping at every notification. Leaving early from hangouts. Asking strange questions about guilt, temptation, second chances, that kind of thing. My stomach twisted violently. You think she's with someone, I said. It wasn't even a question. I don't want to assume, Lena murmured. But, yeah. My throat closed. Listen, she continued gently. If something's wrong, talk to her. Don't let your mind fill in the worst. It's already filled, I whispered. She hesitated. I'm sorry. I ended the call before I fell apart. I wasn't angry at Lena. She didn't betray me. She wasn't the one pretending. But I had enough pieces now to see the shape clearly. My wife wasn't just on a trip. She was on a getaway with another man. And she didn't plan on telling me. By afternoon, exhaustion hit me in waves, but adrenaline kept me upright. I tried eating, but everything tasted like cardboard. Every sound made me jump. Every vibration on my phone sent shock through my nerves. I checked social media even though I hated myself for it. Her friends had posted a story, a boomerang clip from the girls' trip, recorded yesterday. But she wasn't in it. My breath caught. One of the girls was holding a drink, saying to the camera, "Wish she came with us. Wish she came with us." Past tense. Present likelihood. She wasn't with them even on day one. My hand shook so hard I almost dropped the phone. My wife didn't go on a girls' trip at all. She went on his trip. Or perhaps their trip. The thought made my vision blur. I felt humiliated. Broken. Disposed of. Like all the years, all the sacrifices, all the love I poured into our marriage were worthless. A marriage becomes fragile long before it breaks. But this felt like someone had smashed it deliberately. Around 6 p.m., another message from her arrived. Long day. Tired. Talk tomorrow. No heart. No warmth. No apology. Just distance. She was slipping away from me, and she didn't even hide it. My chest tightened until breathing felt impossible. I walked into the bedroom, opened the closet, stared at her clothes hanging neatly, little echoes of a woman I no longer recognized. Her favorite sweater. Her polka dot dress. Her shoes aligned in perfect rows. I touched one of her scarves and felt tears swell behind my eyes. Was any of it real? All the nights she fell asleep in my arms. All the whispered I love yous. All the plans we made. Or had she been drifting away long before this moment, and I just didn't see it? I sank onto the bed, covering my face with both hands. I felt stupid. Small. Disposable. But beneath all that hurt was something else. I needed the truth. Not the fragments. Not the lies. Not the excuses. So when my phone beeped unexpectedly, I hesitated before looking. A message. But not from her. From an unknown number. Attached, a photo. The moment I opened it, my breath collapsed. It was her. My wife. In a hotel room bed. Laughing, head thrown back, hair messy, wrapped in sheets that weren't ours. And beside her was the man from the bar photo. But this time, he wasn't blurred. He was looking right at her. Holding her hand. And the worst part. Her face looked happier than it had in months. Under the photo was a single text. You deserve to know the truth. No name. No explanation. No justification. Just the truth. Delivered like a final blow. My hands went numb. The room spun. I felt my heart break in a way that wasn't cinematic or poetic. It was raw, ugly, animalistic. A pain that made my ribs feel too tight for my body. A pain that made me want to scream until something shattered. I don't remember standing. I don't remember throwing my phone against the wall. I don't remember sinking to my knees. But I remember the sound that tore out of my throat, half sob, half growl. The sound of a man losing everything at once. The minutes blurred together. My mind felt disconnected from my body. I couldn't hear anything except my own heartbeat pounding like a war drum. When I finally picked up my cracked phone, she had just sent another message. Hey, we're back from hiking. Signal is bad lol. You okay? You okay? My vision darkened with disbelief. She was lying in a hotel bed with another man not even an hour ago, and now she was pretending everything was normal. I didn't reply. I didn't trust myself to. Instead, something strange happened, something indescribably calm. The panic vanished. The despair retreated. The heartbreak grew quiet. In its place was an eerie clarity. I knew what I had to do. Not scream. Not accuse. Not beg. Not cry. Just walk away. But not before I found out who sent the photo. Days later, after things unraveled beyond anything I imagined, when she came home to an empty house, when she cried and begged and called me 100 times, when her lies finally crumbled under their own weight, when she realized the man in the photo had sent it himself to expose her, I understood the cruelest truth of all. He didn't want her. He just wanted to destroy her life. And in the process, he destroyed mine too. She stood in front of me the day everything came out, shaking violently, tears streaming down her face. He told me he loved me, she sobbed. He told me I was special. He told me he wanted a future with me. And now? I asked quietly. She broke. He blocked me. He sent you that picture because he said he wanted me to lose everything the way he once did. I stared at her, feeling something heavy settle in my chest. Not love, not hate, not anger. Just grief. Grief for the woman she used to be. Grief for the man I used to be. Grief for the marriage we destroyed together. I'm sorry, she whispered, collapsing onto her knees. I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. One mistake. Please don't leave me. One mistake. 8 seconds of audio. A hotel bed. A secret trip. Dozens of lies. A man she chose over me again and again. Not one mistake. A series of choices. I knelt down in front of her, lifting her chin gently. Her eyes were red, desperate, full of a fear I no longer felt for myself. And that was when she understood the truth before I even said it. It was already over. Not because of the photo. Not because of him. Not because of the lies. But because when trust dies, love becomes a ghost. And I couldn't live with ghosts anymore. She grabbed my hand as I stood to leave, clinging to it like it was a lifeline. Please, she whispered. Don't walk away from me. I looked at her hand wrapped around mine. The same hand that held his hours earlier. I'm not walking away, I said softly. Her eyes flickered with brief hope. I'm letting go. She collapsed as I stepped back, sobbing so violently it echoed through the apartment. I turned away before my own tears betrayed me. As I walked out the door, I felt the weight of everything. Years of love, moments of joy, nights of laughter, crumble behind me like dust. She had texted me once on that first night. Don't distract me. But the truth was brutal. I wasn't a distraction. I was the life she abandoned. And now, she would spend years trying to understand how a single trip, one she thought would be a secret forever, became the moment she lost everything. And I would spend years trying to understand how the woman I vowed to love could become a stranger I could no longer recognize. The door clicked shut behind me. Her cries echoed inside, fading with each step I took away from the life we once shared. And for the first time since her trip began, I felt something close to peace. Not healing. Not closure. Not yet. But the first breath of freedom after drowning for far too long.